Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnanapradham Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tatva Bodho Vidhiyate.
Tatva Bodh, starting with the name itself, Tat, Tva, Tatva. Tat, the pronoun that means that it were thatness, like this is a common word nowadays, it's called Hindutva or Sadhutva, nobleness, Hinduness. Tattva means thatness, means the essence of that, something what makes that. So that is Tattva. What is that? Taditi sarvanama sarvajna brahma tasya nama tat. And he said tat, that, everything is that. That Brahman itself, that absolute reality is tat. Because that tat denotes everything. That means it's a pronoun, it could be him, her, it, that, this, that, everything is tat. So tat iti sarvanama sarvajna brahma tasya nama tat. Brahman's name is tat. So bodha, from the root buddh, knowledge, buddhi, bodha, a knowledge about that absolute reality is Tatva Bodh. Now, that absolute reality is that Brahman. So the Paramartha Tattvam is something that teaches the Paramartha Tattvam. So Tattva Bodh. So the fundamental elements of understanding this absolute knowledge. This is Tatva Bodh. Okay. So knowledge, talking about knowledge, what kind of knowledge? We have what we call vritti jnanam, something that you understand intellectually, mentally, like Patanjali calls it chitta vritti. So that kind of vritti jnanam could be pratibhashika. Pratibhashika means shines for a very short time, like a dream. Like you are aware of it for a short while, it's gone. So that's one kind of knowledge. Or it could be vyavaharika satya. So it could be pratibhashika, which is a very transient, like a dream. That's also knowledge. Vyavaharik satya, that you experience in a waking state. Vyavaharik satya, you experience that, but that's also transient. But it's relatively more concrete compared to the dream. But then even beyond this, there is the other knowledge, which is called the absolute knowledge, in comparison to which the other two knowledges lose reality. Now, there are two kinds of knowledge. One is, like we said, the vritti jnanam, that I understand intellectually what this is all about, what Vedanta is all about, that aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, thou art that, sarvam kalvidam brahma, everything else is that, I am atma, brahma, whatever is here is also Brahman. So we heard it so many times. Intellectually we understand, logically we understand, we can debate and win the debates, establish Advaita Vedanta. But to experience it, are you really living it? In other words, so when that's going to happen, and that will happen only when all the conditioning, all these decorations that we have put on, that soul, when all that is ripped off. In other words, your awareness has to be aware of itself. Your consciousness should be conscious of itself. What Maharshi Mahesh Yogi would call pure consciousness, pure awareness. When awareness is just aware of itself, that is Aham Brahmasmi. So that's what Ramana Maharshi kept saying, look who the real I is, find out who the real I that you are. So when consciousness is conscious of itself, awareness is aware of itself, that's when you have reached the goal, and that is a process. That's not going to happen intellectually, but we all should work towards that. How is it going to happen? By slowly stripping away all the robes that we have put on. So how do we strip that away? By doing all this process that you are doing, praying, japa, running to the temple, singing bhajans. You have to remember always, whatever you do, whether listening to these lectures, all this is for that one goal of calming this mind down. So when that mind settles down, citta vritti nirodha, that is your samadhi right there. That is your state of being Brahman. That is your Brahma Jnana. So everything, whatever you do, keep doing whatever you're doing, but don't lose the focus. That don't make the means an end in itself. The means are for an end. The means are not an end in itself. That the means are to take you, running to temple, doing bhajans, doing prayers, doing pujas. All these are a means to an end. They're not an end in themselves. So, and when that happens, then that paramarthika satya of Aham Brahmasmi will dawn, and that's a real knowledge. Okay? We said that it deals with technical terms of Vedanta. Now, what are the technical terms? Every field of knowledge has technical terms. For, in other words, accounting, technical term, balance sheet. But the word sheet only in accounting would mean only numbers. And if you're in a construction area, the guy says, bring the sheet, he means the drywall. So the technical terms, the relevant parties in that field agree upon what the technical terms mean. In physics, when we say photon, all the physicists have agreed that what a photon is. One physicist can say this is photon, and another physicist can say, no, that's not what you define a photon as. So all the relevant parties have to agree upon what those technical terms mean. So here in Vedantic parlance, so all these technical terms will mean the same thing for all those who are studying the Vedanta. So that's one aspect of what a technical term is. And the other aspect of technical term is that they form the fundamental to build further concepts. They are the building blocks to build further concepts of any area of knowledge. So therefore, Tatva Bodham deals with that fundamental concepts, or what we call technical terms. Good. Now we're coming to Tatva Bodham itself, and Adi Shankaracharya starts beautifully with Mangalacharan. These Mangalacharan, what are the purpose of doing this? In addition to seeking the blessings of the gurus and the gods, what is the purpose of the Mangalacharan? In the beginning, whether even in weddings we do Mangalacharan. What is the purpose? Vastu Nirdesha. You have to establish what the subject matter is. So Shankaracharya brings all this in just these 2 lines. You would be amazed how he had compacted in these 2 lines all this information. So Vastu Nirdesha, establishing the subject matter, is one purpose. And obeisance to Guru and God, seeking the blessings, obeisance to Guru, Namaskar is second purpose, seeking blessings is the third purpose. And the other purpose is to remove all kind of obstacles, adhyatmika, adibhautika, adidhaivika. Adhyatmic obstacles due to my own self because of my ill health, adibhautika disturbance due to other elements, others that are not under my control, in the surroundings, animals, persons, people, adidhaivika circumstances in the hands of the divine ones like natural calamities and all those. So in order to remove all those obstacles, also the purpose of the Mangalacharan. Now this is the Mangala Slokam that he starts with. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tatva Bodham Bidhiyate. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum. Natva, उनको नमस्कार करते हुए, worshipping this great Guru, who is Vasudevendra and who is the Yogendra also. And what does he do? He is the one who bestowed knowledge, absolute knowledge, enlightened upon me. Jnana Pradam Gurum Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva. Worshipping that Guru who bestowed enlightened, bestowed knowledge on me, and who is the king of yogis, and who is the king of the devas, Devendra, and Vasudevendra Guru. So why we have to do this? Because there are two factors involved to accomplish any undertaking. What are the two factors? One is your own effort. Unless you make an effort, nothing will get accomplished. You can't just sit around and pray to God and this will happen. No. So not only you have to make an effort, but also you need help from the other side, because it is, we do what we need to do, but then like Ramana Maharshi said, Karturajñaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. Your effort is like jatam. Jatam means inert. By itself, it will not give you the result. So but then if you don't make an effort, now who is there to give a result? Because there is no effort, so the God can at least say, okay, this effort, should I give the result or not give the result? So at least he can make the decision. But when there is no effort at all, he doesn't even have to make a decision, right? So the effort has to come first. But then the effort is only jatam. It's jatam. So karturajñaya prapyate phalam. Therefore, because by his command alone the results are obtained or achieved, you need help from both sides. So that's why the prayer. And what kind of effort that I have undertaken to write this treatise, oh my Lord, I am making this effort, but then bless this effort that this would be brought to a fruition, this would be completed without any obstructions. And also the prayer is implied here that not only I should complete this work uninterrupted, but the student also being successful in comprehending. Because it's not enough I write something, but then the purpose for which it is written, it is not enough that if I sit here and talk, but the purpose for the talk that you should understand, you should comprehend, if that is not served, then all my effort is nothing, because that is what the purpose of any activity is. The teacher taught, the guru, the disciple should be to accomplish the purpose of the task. So that is implied. And what is implied here, that God and Guru are not different, because Shankaracharya describes him Vasudevendra. Some people would say, oh, because of this opening sloka, Mangala Slokam, this is not written by Shankaracharya, because Shankaracharya's Guru was Govinda Bhagavat Pada, not Vasudevendra. But the thing is, Govinda and Vasudeva are one and the same. Right? So, Govinda, Vasudeva are not different. Also, when he describes his Guru as Vasudevendram, that all-permeating illumination, that's how he describes it. Vasudevendra and the king of yogis, so Jnana-pradam Gurum. Now, the other aspect of this Mangala Slokam is called Anubandha Chatushtayam. Anubandha Chatushtayam. What is Chatushtayam? Chatushtayam is fourfold. Anubandha, that how the reader or the student get connected to this work, to this treatise in fourfold way. Anubandha Chatushtayam. The fourfold information. What is the fourfold information? Number one, the subject. What is the subject? The subject is Moksha Shastram, knowledge of the self itself. Who is the Adhikari? Who is eligible to get this knowledge? Who is eligible to receive this knowledge? Mumukshunam. So that is the word here. So who is eligible? Mumukshunam, who have this intense desire for liberation. Intense desire for liberation. The seeker after liberation. The qualified student, here is Mumukshu. The seeker with a burning desire. Mumukshunam. So it is only for those. It's not for everybody. So that's a qualification right there. And Adi Shankaracharya is also going to make further conditions in the following verses as to how that Mumukshu is. So, to a qualified student. Because it's common sense that no scripture stops anybody from seeking joy or happiness. Scriptures encourage you to do that. But then, what the scriptures do is to ask you if you are seeking that happiness or joy in the right place. Because there's only two places that exist to seek that happiness. Outside and inside. So, the purpose of the scripture is to tell you where to look. Because if you're looking for outside all the time, and you don't even think about looking inside, then you're not a mumukshu. Because if you're running, hankering after pleasure, hankering after money, hankering after this, and then thinking that's where everything is, you're not a mumukshu and you're not qualified to receive this kind of knowledge, and you have to wait until you get that desire inside of you. For some, it comes early in life, for some it comes later in life, for many it comes after many incarnations. Pullahi, Pudai, Puluai, Maramahi, Palvirgamahi, Paravayai, Pambai, Kallai, Manidarai, Peyai, Kanangalai, Valla Surarai, Munivarai, Tevarai, எல்லா நின்றை தாவர சங்கமத்தில் எல்லா பிறப்பும் பிறந்தெடுத்தேன் எம்பெருமான். Oh my Lord Shiva, I have been through all these insects, birds, creatures, fly, worm, pullahi, pudai, puluvai, worm, palvirgamahi, different animals, paravayai, pambai, snakes, kallai, rocks, manidarai, humans, different humans, asuras, normal humans, all those kind of things. Munivarai, being munis, Devarai, devas. Sellan indra tavara sangamathil ella parappum parandalithu. So, if we go through all this, at some point of time, that intense burning desire comes for liberation, and that's when Manikavasakar says, Meye un ponnadigal kanniddu irutrin seeking thy holy feet, O my Lord Shiva, I came home. So the scriptures can only tell you where to look for it, but no scripture will stop you from looking for that happiness, but it just points to and to you, see that where you are looking. If the objects cannot give it, then one has to find in the subject that's in oneself. And to accomplish this liberation, the yearning for it cannot be implanted in you by somebody else. Nobody can brainwash you to do that. unless you have it within you. Tivra samveganam asannaha, Patanjali. When you want it, nothing can stop you. When that desire is intense, that knowledge is right there. Okay? Now the third aspect of this Anubandha Chatushtayam is Prayojanam. What is the use of the scriptures? Fulfillment of the desire for liberation or moksha. The fruit of study of this Tatva Bodha, what we call Palashruti, is to lead us towards our goal of liberation. It leads us to complete cessation of sorrow and the attainment of supreme bliss. That's the Prayojanam. And what is the fourth factor? The fourth factor is the Sambandha, is the connection between this work, between the Tattva Bodh and the goal and you. So this Tattva Bodh connects you to that goal of knowing who you are. So the word connection, Sambandha, refers to the connection between the book and the goal of liberation. It does say in our Mangalacharan that this will reveal the knowledge, mumukshunam hitarthaya, for the benefit of these intense seekers. This will reveal that knowledge of liberation. So that sambandha, that connection could be in two ways. Bodhya bodhaka sambandha, also the teacher and the taught, and the subject revealed and the revealer. So the two different connections, Bodhya bodhaka sambandha, revealed, Bodhya, what is revealed, and the revealer. Unless the revealer knows what he is talking about, he cannot reveal anything. So all these connections is also implied in this Mangala Stotram or Sloka. Good. So Vasudevendra Yogendram, king of yogis, Govindapada, called Vasudeva, Vasu, dweller in all permeating, dweller in all beings, Vishnu, Deva, effulgent one. So effulgent one who dwells in all the beings, the self, saluting him, Natva. So Jnanapradam Guru, one who bestows that knowledge. Mumukshunam hitarthaya Tatva Bodha vidhiyate, Tatva Bodha abhidhiyate, Tatva Bodho vidhiyate. Mumukshunam hitarthaya, of who Mumukshunam Tatva Bodha, this text abhidhiyate, is being expounded. Now the subject matter in this is all this 5 categories. From now on he goes into details of all this. Adhikari, who is a real mumukshu. So this is the definition of mumukshu. He starts right here. Sadhana chatustya sampannadhikari nam moksha sadhana bhutam tattva veka prakaram vakshyamaha. I will here describe what are the four qualifications for the seeker. So that we will take up in our next class. With that we will conclude.